If you can't fully commit to the movement of NoFap or semen retention, then you're simply going to fail, and that's the God's given truth. Everything that I share with you guys in terms of help, self-help, advice with NoFap, semen retention, is all stemming from personal experience. So know and understand that I am somebody who used to suffer heavily from an addiction to pornography, masturbation, and orgasm, right? Otherwise known as PMO. I was an addict, right? I'm not perfect myself. I'm still working on becoming a better man, a better individual. In fact, I would say that I'm still healing from that addiction, even though it's been around 5 years since I discovered NoFap. The reason why I share my content with all of you is because I can understand how difficult it might be for you to break free from an addiction to PMO. But one thing that I want to advocate or share in this video is that if you are truly committed to either NoFap or semen retention, or maybe both, then you will find success with it. You just have to commit. You have to give yourself to the movement. You have to acknowledge that you have an addiction that needs dealing with. Acknowledge that you have a problem that needs sorting out. And as soon as you can do this, you will give yourself the keys to heal from that situation. A lot of times we struggle as human beings with the first step. The first step being to simply acknowledge that we have a problem. By acknowledging the problem, do we allow ourselves to bring the problem up to the surface, see it for what it truly is, how it's affecting our lives, and then that way we can make a conscious decision as to whether we want to rid of it or not. So a lot of the times with an addiction to PMO, we tend to sweep it under the carpet, right? Pretend it doesn't exist. And we do this because it's so pleasurable. It's so nice. It feels good to just put on pornography and masturbate, right? To orgasm. It's so relieving. It's simple. It's easy, right? What's more difficult to do is to actually look at pornography for what it truly is and tell yourself that you have a problem. Tell yourself that you have an addiction that needs dealing with. That's the first step. But if you can do this, then you will allow yourself the opportunity to heal from this problem, this addiction. I am somebody who used to relapse on a consistent basis when I first discovered NoFap. And the amount of times that I was relapsing really reiterated to me that I had a problem that needed fixing. And so I will always say that you're never going to know the true detrimental effects of PMO in your life until you decide to embark on a journey of NoFap, because you first of all need to acknowledge the problem with it. Now, what's going to happen as you embark on your journey of healing, your journey of becoming a better man, a better individual, somebody who's breaking free from an addiction to PMO, is you're going to look back at your younger self. You're going to look back at the person who used to consistently watch porn and masturbate, and you're going to just laugh. You're going to smile because you will have evolved so much. You'll become a better person. You'll become more intelligent. You'll become wiser. It's almost like pulling something out of the water so you can see it for what it truly is. To give you an analogy, I want you to imagine that there is something underneath a deep lake of water, right? You have an idea of what this thing is, right? Maybe you've swam down to the bottom of the lake and you felt it with your hands, but because you have to keep your eyes shut when you're swimming, you can't quite see what it is, okay? But you have a feel of what it is and you've got a rough idea of how big it is and the shape of it and everything, but you swim back up to the top of the lake because you need to catch your breath, right? So there's something at the bottom of this lake and you want it to come out because you want to see what it is. It could be anything, right? Eventually, over time, what happens when you're healing or when you decide to jump on a journey of NoFap is that that thing at the bottom of the lake begins to rise. And eventually it rises from the lake and it floats out of the water and you can see it for what it truly is. And you realize it's this big, dark, ugly looking thing that just doesn't belong on this planet, right? It doesn't belong in your life. And you do anything and everything you can to get rid of this thing so it just goes away as fast as it can. That's what happens when you decide to embark on a journey of NoFap, is you bring your problem, your addiction to PMO up to the surface, It finally rises to the surface, to a visible position, and once you see it, right, you're so shocked, you're so surprised, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that I was swimming down to the bottom of the lake to put my hands on this thing. I wish I never touched it in the first place. That's how detrimental an addiction to pornography and masturbation actually is. But you're never going to see that side of it until you fully decide to take a step away from it. And this is something that's going to take time, but if you're committed to it, then you will be able to achieve it. A lot of times men fail on journeys of NoFap and semen retention because they haven't fully committed to the idea. They haven't fully committed to the movement. They haven't fully committed to breaking free from the addiction, right? There's some aspects of them that doesn't want to do it. There's an aspect of their life, their personality that doesn't want to break free from the PMO addiction. It just feels too good, and so they will give themselves excuses to relapse. Oh, I had a bad day, I fell out with a friend, or whatever the case may be, right? People consistently relapse because they're still attached to that pornography and masturbation. They haven't removed the object from the bottom of the water high enough and able to see it for what it truly is. And so you need to bring that problem up to the surface so you can see exactly how it's affecting your life, exactly how it's affecting the things that you want to do as a person, exactly how it's affecting your energies and aspects of the divine masculine. And only when you see the detrimental side of the addiction to PMO, the negative impact of pornography on the brain, for example, that's when you can make a conscious decision to break free from the addiction. So first of all, bring the problem to the surface, study how it's affecting your life, and then you can make a decision as to whether you want to break free from the addiction or not. But I can guarantee that if you do a good job in bringing the problem to the surface, this could be through meditation, it could be through watching formal videos about pornography and how it affects the brain. It could be listening to mentors, gurus. It could be watching videos here on DMT. Whatever the case may be, allow yourself to bring the problem up to the surface fully so you can see how it's affecting your life, because I can guarantee that it is. And once you know, and once you can see how it's affecting your life, then, dear friend, you will be able to make a conscious decision to break free from the addiction. Divine Masculine Tantra, I hope to see you on the next video.